Have you ever seen a coin that looks like this? Well, if you are an heir coin collector, more than likely you have and recognize what this is. This is a waffled coin, and they're even graded by NGC and PCGS. These are not intended to leave the mint, but they're not so rare that you've not seen them before. But the game has changed with a massive security breach at the United States Mint, and we're going to talk about what has happened and if they could be confiscated or not in this video as we explore. These are called waffled coins, as I said, and they're essentially canceled coins like a stamp. And they're not intended for sale by the United States Mint. But some have entered into circulation, or entered into collectors' hands, rather. And so far, I don't know of any case where they've been confiscated. But there's a new, even more rare version that's come out now. And starting back in 2018, a waffle canceled quarter strike has come into collector hands, and this is quite intriguing. Now, what's different about this type of thing? Well, first let's talk a little bit about it. This, you can see, shows the waffling that has occurred. The edge exposes the copper nickel clad composition of the $quarter test strike, as we can see here. This is the second of the waffle canceled test strike from the United States Mint's research into alloy alternatives for circulating U.S. coins that has been identified from the same source as the first one that was reported in August of 2018. Now this is the second piece that was struck on a planchet the size of a $quarter that is made of the same copper nickel clad composition currently used for that coin, according to Saul Techman, who manages USPatterns.com. and assigned the attribution number Judd 2225 based off the United States pattern coins. But the newest information has just come out. The newest here is an additional waffle canceled trial strikes of circulating U.S. coins has made its way, and there's an image of it. This does not happen, especially for trial strikes to actually make the way. We'll look at those a little closer as to what a trial strike is. Coin denominations and compositions being tested by the U.S. Mint to save on production costs have entered the collecting mainstream now. And John Sullivan, an error coin dealer from Land O'Lakes, Florida, secured two examples of the J2225 $quarter trial strike as cataloged, and we'll look at those websites in a moment, and a single example attributed as J2210. Only one in known existence in the world. Attributions of USPatterns.com stem from the standard pattern reference, United States Pattern Coins by J. Hewitt Judd, and the U.S. Mint has been conducting composition alternatives research at the Philadelphia Mint since the passage of the Coin Modernization Oversight and Continuity Act of 2010. And they have issued biannual reports to Congress to announce the findings. And they include a study of Concurrent Technologies Corporations. And Sullivan said he acquired the canceled trial strikes from another dealer who had obtained them from a collector. But no one knows how that collector got them. Waffle cancellation results from Mint researchers putting the condemned trial strikes into machinery manufactured by Custers Engineering in the Netherlands to deform them, to essentially waffle them, with the intention that the pieces then be shipped to outside vendors for melting and metal reclamation. All three trial strikes Sullivan recently acquired, the two $quarter pieces and a single 5-cent piece, were struck with nonsense dies bearing Martha Washington designs, not intended for circulating production. We'll look at that in a moment. It's quite intriguing as to this, because I've seen this Martha Washington design on other coins in the past. Is pretty intriguing. While the two $quarter strikes were produced on planchets of the current copper nickel clad composition, the outer layers of 95% copper, 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper, the dies, with their nonsense imagery, bear differential identification numbers. The lone 5-cent coin trial strike was metallurgically tested by Professional Coin Grading Service, and according to Sullivan, was found to have a composition of 77% copper, 20% nickel, and 2.5% manganese, with the remainder of trace elements. The current composition of 5-cent coins issued for circulation and collector sets is a homogeneous alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel. As you know, the nickel is one of the most expensive coins, that we mint when we lose money on it. And so this is the first time we're seeing kind of a coin. Now this has been waffled that shows that. And as you can see, the coin world has done a lot of stories on this, experimental alloys, how these pieces enter into the marketplace. But it's pretty wild to see that this has happened through the years, but now another one has happened. And will the U.S. Mint crack down on the security breach? Because that's really what it boils down to. You can see an example of what that Martha Washington design looks like. Here we can see a closer look at it. Pretty intriguing indeed on this particular piece. And it says here, quarter dies were used to simulate the current Cooper nickel clad coins. And it goes on to say it is unclear whether or not the U.S. Mint would confiscate these should any turn up and collector hands. So far, the only one in collector hands is the waffle cancel example, J225, illustrated below, courtesy of Mike Byers. And so this is the only one that's in collector hands. Pretty intriguing indeed to see that. Now, looking at this Martha Washington design, the 5-cent trial strikes. Test pieces were struck in 2011 and 2013 in the following combinations using newer Martha Washington dies, then found on the J2182 combined with a reverse similar in style to regular issue nickels. They have mottos with reversed or scrambled lettering. Additional information can be found in the alternative study, and I've actually talked about that on this channel before, and it's been going on since 2010 with these alternative metal studies to try to reduce costs. And the report has images usually of one side for all these combinations. We can see the different ones there, but this is an image. Look at that. It's pretty cool. This experimental copper-plated zinc strikes the mint as executed at the Philadelphia Mint for the 5-cent coin, weighing 4.06 grams and maintained the coin's current diameter, according to U.S. Mint officials. U.S. Mint spokesman Michael White said that the copper-plated zinc planchets for the 5-cent experimental strikes were supplied by Zardin Zinc Products of Greenville, Tennessee. Zardin is currently the U.S. Mint's lone vendor for ready-to-strike copper-plated zinc planchets for Lincoln cents. Now, it is unclear whether they will confiscate these. It looks like this is the only one that's still out even today based off of that newest report. But this is what's known as a nonsense strike here. And you can see the lettering is just to kind of place to kind of show what the kind of looks like the nickel in terms of the placement of the relief and the lettering and the like. Martha, it replaces Liberty there in cursive to kind of show as to how the metal would flow, very similar to what would be on a nickel today. Pretty interesting, intriguing. And as you can see, there's a mock-up of what looks to be a combination of Mount Vernon and Monticello, just to kind of showcase this thing as a test strike. And you have the lettering there, which is obviously nonsensical, but similar to E Pluribus Unum, 5 cents, and the numbers there represent Monticello, which you would see on a nickel. And so quite intriguing indeed. What a story this is. Now, part of what I like to do on this channel is to bring you stories like this that are off the beaten path of what the regular precious metal news are, but also bring news to you about what the U.S. Mint and error coins from time to time, and this is one of those. So I hope you found this video insightful. Let's take a look here and see what this story has and shows the Waffle Council Martha Washington test piece that has surfaced, and there you can see the waffling that is done on it there. Pretty intriguing to see that pretty up close there from this piece from 2018. But yeah, it's not very often that we see security breaches like this at the U.S. Mint, And I'm surprised, actually, that this has not been confiscated or returned, because we saw that happen before with gold coins, most famously, as I reported on this channel years ago, about the $20 gold double eagles from 1933. Yes, indeed. That is one example of that type of thing that can occur. But there it is. Pretty intriguing. Wild to see that, indeed, for sure. So there you go. Let me know what your thoughts are about this story. Hope you found this information, or found this video informational, insightful, and educational. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch this video, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.